Parasect, which my colleagues and I are cultivating in search for a possible anti-cancer chemical agent, are sad sights to behold. The mushroom parasites on their backs have bloomed 3 times the size of their Parasect hosts, virtually squashing these powerful insects under the fungus's weight. No wonder it's one of the slowest Pokémon around. Like other fungal parasites of insects, the spores of this mushroom germinate when the time is ripe, infiltrating Paras's spiracles, which serve as airways, with its nutrient-absorbing hyphae. As Paras grows into Parasect, the mushroom gains dominance of Parasect's nutrient source, sprouting beautifully on Parasect's stunted body. My lab recently discovered that Parasect's immune system is on high drive in response to the growing mycelium formed by the mass of hyphae inside its body, producing proteins that retard the expansion of the fungal web of demise. This compound has allowed Parasect to delay the complete hijacking and annihilation by the fungi long enough to live a rich and meaningful life. However, the fungus has firmly rooted itself during the initial life stage of Parasect, when it was only a Paras and its immune system not fully matured. The mushroom has always ended up winning the war of attrition, its exotic and dreadful body triumphantly anchored onto the collapsed shell of the valiant insect, ready to invade nearby colonies of Paras. The Parasect family is always a reliable subject if one gets the itch to discuss unfortunate and unethical occurrences in the Pokémon world, because what this shroom is doing is nothing short of a complete heist of the bug's being, which, for most people, can be taken as a sad turn of events. But I like to amuse myself with the thought that the predecessor of Paras might actually be better off as a mindless drone. Sure, turning into part vegetable may be against its will, but with that non-mutual transformation comes a vast number of options which enables the bugger to expand its defensive and offensive arsenal. At this point, we don't actually know if a deshroomed Paras would evolve into something different, or stay as a vulnerable cave-dwelling insect doomed to fear anything which resists claws. So even if the large fungus rules over its brain with an iron root, odds are that Parasect would be insignificant without it. It being the primary and only victim of the mushroom's infectious properties could even be a proof that this bug is the only thing weak enough to trigger this turn of events. But since I have no actual observations to support my theory, this is still just a huge maybe. So if we were to jump back to the victim perspective, the life of a Paras is essentially predetermined and inevitable. The move spore is one of the few things which made the Parasect family notorious for quite some time, but just how defendable is it to spread the seeds of tyranny during battle so that you may score a few turns of sleep among your opponents? The spores only manage to induce momentary sleep when used directly, but we can only begin to wonder if there are any long-term drawbacks for those who are outside the Parasect family. Degenerated nerve activity? Abnormal behavior? Athlete's foot? We can only guess. And wait. With that said, I do like Parasect. Whenever it responds with a small gesture of affection, I'd like to believe that there's still a small trace of the bug's mind left in there which can act and think on its own. Or it's the shroom which lulls me into a false sense of safety as it plans the next hostile takeover. I, for one, am fine with both scenarios.